session. Neil Robertson to break.
Good fun from the boys there. And I have to apologise, I did you a slight disservice, old chap. He's only equalled yours at 12, but I think there's a good chance it might get broken in this match. I will remind you when it happens.
I'll hold on to it for as long as possible, but yeah, I think it's looking ominous. Those two reds look to be pretty much touching, which means you hit the opposite side to pot it. It's more of a squeeze, which means you would have to hit it quite thin on the left edge as he was looking at it to squeeze it to the left to pot it, which would obviously send the cue ball in towards the reds. So big shot to take on. It looks to me like he's convinced himself to play it.
Well, it's all or nothing. And it's all. What a shot.
One.
He had to hit that on the thin side, and he just knew full well he was careering into everything. And that is just an excellent shot. And the turn out isn't too bad either.
Wow, does that mean there's not one red in the cushion? And all the colours are in the open. Incredible. It's like a practice session
6.
now.
Seven.
You can see here, 100% committed. It wasn't that difficult a pot, but you've still got to commit yourself. You still know what's going to happen if you do miss it. And you've got to sort of be in the lap of the gods where the cue ball's going to end up.
Yeah, it is one of those shots, as you say, got to commit to them, because if you could still get the plans and not have the work on the cue ball to get right the way through, but there was no lack of commitment in that. That was very positive. And that is not very good. He'd be really disappointed to contact the yellow there. So he may have to pull out another great long pot as we see career into that yellow.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best the game's ever seen at playing that shot in and out of bulk. He very rarely makes contact with the bulk colours, so he'd be horrified to see that outcome.
This is a big pot coming up. 4-3 down, balls everywhere. If you miss it, you're definitely going to stick Neil in. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Pressure pot of the highest order that was, and straight in the middle of the bag. Brilliant. Yeah, that 100% pot success continues in the long department.
18.
It's picking up a few air miles, this cue ball, at the moment. But slightly hampered by the yellow, but Genova, make sure his waistcoat's nowhere near that. Should be alright, he's having a little sneaky look.
$90.
And we say he plays a different type of game, and it's not like anybody else, and we've seen examples certainly in this frame. The opening plant was played with total commitment, but that mid-range red he had to knock in was very impressive.
He's just played another little careless shot. I mean, it looked like a nothing shot, but he's got too much angle on this red, the closest one to the cue ball, because he wanted to be straight just to stun for the black. I'm not saying it's going to be a problem getting the colour, but just not got that cue ball under control. He didn't want to be going up for a bulk colour here.
26.
let's say it's not any trouble really, but it just when you start losing that cue ball little bits, then it can increase and increase. He's faced with certainly a lot tougher positional shot than he would have had. Again, he may have to play the red near the left corner because there's the wrong angle on this red to the middle.
Yeah, you mentioned the word before, saying Neil Robertson, it was a grafting break. This certainly is at the moment. Hasn't quite got the cue ball where he wants it, but he's continuing the break.
$31.
Pretty good now.
Well, now he is perfect. After 2 or 3 shots that weren't automatic.
37.
Needs 31 points to level the match going into the evening session.
38.
Yeah, I think one prediction we did get right, wasn't it? Saying that you do well to have a lead going into the final session because there's so little between the two players. I fancied 4-4, I have to be honest. Just as I fancy it'll be 10-8 or 10-9. Not a great prediction, I know, because most people think the same thing, but you got two players so evenly matched. There's the pot success, 92% each. Don't have to be Einstein to know they're going to have a close match. This is a very good response from Judd Trump to a very dangerous situation.
$51.
Well, he played for this red, presuming it would go. I think it's tighter than he thought. He's got now playing the red to right middle.
52.
Again, lost the cue ball. This is a little pressure shot, this one, because look at the reds if he misses.
Yeah, it's not been on a string in this break, has it? But every question has been answered so far. Another excellent piece of cueing. Just needs a little bounce. Perfect. So yeah, a lot of tricky little horrible shots in this break. A little bit of loss of cue ball, but such is the man's talent. Keeps knocking them in.
Yeah, again, fully committed to that black. There was nothing tentative about it. It was a pressure shot, but you wouldn't think the way he played it.
Yeah, Ken mentioned the word in the studio before. They've both got bottle. We've seen a very good example of it here. And belief in his own ability.
$67.
Can Judd make his first century of this final?
$74.
Fabulous response from the world number one.
75.
I have to say that right at the start of this break, okay, started it with that plan, but there was a red that came after it that's, for me, the best shot of the final so far. This one Pressure galore on that one. Straight in the middle of the pocket.
Yeah, the good thing about that pot as well was he'd be so
82.
disappointed in the positional shot he played previously. You've got to blank that out of your mind and refocus. And that what made that pot even more impressive. Angle, if he wants to take the last red away, lift it off that cushion.
88. $89.
So can Judd make his first century of this year's final? Robertson's made 2 already. We thought there'd be quite a few in this final. Yeah, a little discussion last night. Couldn't see anything else but a scoring fest.
95.
So just this red and the blue.
96.
For Judd's first and the third of the final. Superb. Very well played, Judd Trump.
101. 103.
And that certainly solved everyone's problem about what they're watching this evening. You can come back and see us later on. You don't want to miss this. 4 frames all. We'll be back at 7 o'clock tonight. And 2 players in superb form who both think they can beat each other. That's always a good recipe for an outstanding match.
115. 121.
And just this black for a wonderful way to finish the session. A 128. And it's there. Well played, Judd Trump. Absolutely brilliant from the world number 1. And Neil Robertson's played his part as well. Fabulous opening session. And stay tuned for tonight, people. It's all level. It's 4 each.